Gardeners have always searched for ways to turn waste into fertility, and one of the oldest farmers' tricks sounds almost too strange to be true: soaking straw in urine to make a powerful soil amendment. Generations before us swore that this practice produced black fertile matter faster than most compost piles, yet few modern gardeners ever test it. The real question is not whether it works, but how long it actually takes before urine-soaked straw transforms into something safe, balanced and rich enough to be called garden gold. We ran a test to follow the breakdown from the moment straw was soaked to the point it became crumbly, humus-like material, and the results reveal the timeline and science behind this forgotten method. Why urine changes the way straw breaks down. Straw by itself is mostly carbon. Its structure is tough, high in lignin and slow to decompose, often lasting more than a year if left dry or only lightly mulched into soil. Urine, however, is extremely rich in nitrogen, carrying urea, potassium and trace minerals in a soluble form. When poured over straw, it balances the high carbon load with readily available nitrogen. This sparks microbial activity that would otherwise starve for lack of nitrogen. Instead of microbes slowly nibbling straw fibres, they multiply rapidly and begin tearing down the material. The balance shifts from a dry bedding material into the start of a compost accelerator. The first weeks are marked by strong microbial heating. Within the first 7 to 10 days, the soaked straw pile warms noticeably. Microbes breaking down urea release ammonia, which can smell sharp and even overwhelming if too much urine is used. At this early stage, the material is not safe for direct use in the garden because the nitrogen is still unstable and can burn roots. Yet this heating period is important because it signals that decomposition has begun. Turning the straw every week during this stage helps release excess ammonia and keeps oxygen flowing to microbes, preventing anaerobic conditions that would slow the process. By the first month, the sharpness fades and fungal threads appear. After 4 weeks, the ammonia smell decreases, replaced by a more earthy odour. The straw, once stiff and yellow, softens and begins to darken. At this point, fungal mycelium often appears as white strands, binding damp clumps together. This stage is key, because fungi are the organisms strong enough to tackle the lignin in straw, breaking it down into humic substances. The material is still too coarse to be spread directly in garden beds, but it is on the path toward becoming a stable amendment. Adding small amounts of soil or finished compost at this point helps inoculate the mix with a broader range of decomposers. Worms move in once the ammonia has been neutralized. By the second month, the pile no longer carries the harsh bite of ammonia. Instead, it smells like damp earth. This is when earthworms naturally begin entering the pile if it is in contact with soil. Their arrival is the best sign that the material has shifted from hot composting into a cooler, humus-building phase. Worms feed on softened straw and the microbial biomass that has multiplied on it, pulling fragments deeper into the pile and mixing them with castings. At this stage, the straw can be used as a surface mulch, though for incorporation into beds it is best to wait a few weeks longer. The 3-month mark produces a usable amendment. By 90 days, urine-soaked straw is no longer recognizable as bedding material. It darkens, crumbles easily in the hand, and has a sweet, earthy smell. At this stage, the material is stable enough to be mixed into garden beds without risk of burning crops. We found that mixing it at a ratio of 1 part straw compost to 3 parts soil produced excellent growth in leafy greens without additional fertilizer. In raised beds, layering it beneath a thin cover of finished compost created a slow-release fertility source that continued to improve soil tilth through the season. Right then, let's talk about the ratios and steps for gardeners wanting to replicate this method. The most effective balance we found was soaking straw with a ratio of about 1 litre of urine to 3 to 4 kilograms of straw, applied gradually rather than all at once. Too much urine poured on at once leads to excess ammonia and nutrient loss. The better method is layering. Spread a thick bedding of straw, pour enough urine to dampen but not flood it, then repeat with another straw layer. A pile that's at least 3 feet wide and 3 feet tall ensures it retains enough heat for rapid breakdown. Turning the pile every 2 weeks keeps decomposition even, and sprinkling a little garden soil between layers introduces microbes that speed the transition. The long-term benefits really do make the waiting game worthwhile. After 4 to 6 months, the material matures even further into a rich black humus that's pretty much indistinguishable from high-quality compost. At this point, it is garden gold in the truest sense. Stable, nutrient-dense, and full of microbial life. Beyond the immediate fertility, urine-soaked straw adds structure and water-holding capacity to soil, improving conditions for years to come. For gardeners struggling with poor soils or looking for a free fertility source, this method is proof that what was once considered waste can become the foundation of abundance. Urine-soaked straw proves the old farmers were right. Our test confirmed what farmers of past generations already knew. Urine-soaked straw left to decompose becomes safe and fertile within 3 months, and with patience it matures into some of the richest organic matter a garden can receive. It is a low-cost, effective and sustainable practice that turns a waste product into valuable soil wealth. The key is giving it time, balancing carbon and nitrogen, and allowing biology to do its work. If you found this deep dive useful and want more proven, soil-first methods like this, subscribe to Soil Doctor and share this guide with fellow gardeners. The old ways still work, and together we can bring them back to life in modern gardens.